The United States is grappling with a massive debt load. The nation currently owes a staggering $36.2 trillion of national debt. You might wonder who would lend such an enormous amount to the US and to whom the sum is owed. The explanation is straightforward. The US primarily owes this money to itself, though several other nations also hold a portion of the debt. The US debt is mainly held by two groups, the public, which includes foreign nations and domestic investors, and the US government itself. Before diving into the specifics of these groups and their shares, let's cover some fundamentals. When the US government needs funds, it issues treasury securities or saving bonds. These are essentially IOUs promising repayment with a bit of interest to whoever purchases them. Bonds are attractive investments for entities like banks, foreign governments, or even individual citizens. The debt ceiling, often in the news, is the limit set on how many bonds the US Treasury can issue. To fund government operations, Congress raises the ceiling, allowing more Treasury securities to be sold. So, who holds these bonds? Contrary to the myths about shadowy organization or hostile nations, foreign investors and government account for approximately 23.5% of the total US debt, or about $8.5 trillion as of December 2024. The remaining 76.5% is held by domestic investors, the Federal Reserves, or the US government itself. Domestic investors, including banks, institutions, mutual funds, pension funds, and individuals, own about 42% of the debt. The Federal Reserve, the nation's central bank, holds approximately 13%. The US government itself owns about 20% of its own debt. This might sound confusing. How can a government owe itself money? It happens when agencies like Social Security, Medicare, or Disability Program purchase Treasury securities. The interest earned on these bonds help fund their operations. While individuals can't lend themselves money, governments that control their currencies can. Of the debt held abroad, about 23.5% is owned by foreign investors, with Japan and China being the largest holder. As of November 2024, Japan holds $1.09 trillion and China holds $768.6 billion. Other nations like the United Kingdom, the Cayman Islands, and Luxembourg also invest significantly. By holding US treasuries, these countries can manage their currency's value relative to the dollar, which helps them in trade and economic policies. For instance, China's investment in treasuries supports its export-driven economy by keeping the yuan's value competitive. In summary, the US owes most of its debt to its own citizens, companies, and government entities, with about a quarter owned to foreign nations. Can the US ever clear this debt? Share your thoughts below.